Sophie Germain was born in Paris on April 1st in 1776. Her family was wealthy, as her father was a director of the Bank of France. During the French Revolution, she was confined to her home for her own protection. To pass the time, she started reading the books in her father's library. One book told the legend of Archimedes' death. During an invasion of his city, he was so focused on the math problem he was working on that he didn't answer the questions of an invading soldier. Because of this, he was killed. As Sophie read this story, she couldn't help but think that if someone was that engrossed in math that they'd die for it, then it must be an interesting subject. She decided to start studying mathematics. Using the books in her father's library, Sophie started to learn everything she could about math. Because it was 1776, people felt that it was inappropriate for a woman to study this. Her parents tried to stop her, so she started studying at night when they couldn't take her books away. They found out that she was doing this and started taking her candles away so that she couldn't read at night. However, nothing could discourage her, and she started hiding candles in her room so that she could study. Eventually, her parents gave up and let her learn. As she grew up, Sophie continued to focus on mathematics. She wanted to go to the École Polytechnique Academy, but women weren't allowed to enroll, so she got notes from different lectures and studied them. Using a male name, Sophie eventually submitted a paper to Professor J. L. Lagrange. He found out that it was submitted by a woman, but instead of being angry, he was impressed. He became her mentor. Having a man as her mentor meant that she could communicate with mathematicians that wouldn't talk to her before. As she continued to work in mathematics, Sophie was able to prove that if x, y, and z are integers, and x to the fifth plus y to the fifth equals z to the fifth, then either x, y, or z must be divisible by 5. This was a step towards proving Fermat's last theorem when n equals 5. His theorem says that if x, y, z, and n are integers, then x to the n plus y to the n equals z to the n can't be solved if n is greater than 2. Mathematicians had been struggling to prove Fermat's last theorem for centuries, and Sophie Germain was able to bring the world closer to the solution. Her work was able to influence the modern mathematician known as Andrew Wiles. Using the work of every past mathematician who had worked on it, he was able to prove Fermat's last theorem in 1994. Sophie's work in the coming years would win her many prizes, and she was able to work with male mathematicians without judgment, along with making bounds in number theory. Sophie also made important contributions with her work in the theory of elasticity. When Sophie was 55, she died in 1831 due to breast cancer. Thanks for watching our video. We used Agnes Scott College and their Biographies of Women Mathematicians website.